I am Eileen Doherty, and I'm the director of the Colorado Gerontological Society. And thank you all for signing up to deliver baskets. We are delivering 350 baskets again this year, and we've probably got close to 70, somewhere between 75 and 100 volunteers that have agreed to participate. So it's really great. The purpose of the program really is to provide an opportunity for people who are going to be kind of alone or not have much interaction with anybody over the holidays, for them to at least have the benefit of the food and makings for a nice holiday dinner, in addition to maybe a very short visit, or at least welcoming you to their home for a few moments. Our goal is to reduce isolation, depression, and loneliness over the holidays. Pretty straightforward mission, if you will. The way it works is that volunteers, either you or your family, volunteer to deliver one or more baskets. You purchase the food for however many baskets you feel like you are going to want to deliver to. So if you sign up for 3, then you purchase the staples for that. You deliver the food to the older adults that have requested a basket, and most people report that it's kind of a fun activity and they have lots of good feelings and memories about doing it. It's probably a little bit too late to do any business organization, so I'm just going to skip this. We're delivering Saturday on Saturday, December 13th, between 10 and 2 or 12 p.m. Now that's when you come through our lot. Is you can start at 10 a.m. and hopefully everybody will be pretty much through the lot by noon. We recognize that some of you will not actually be able to reach the older adults' home till an hour or 2 later. These are the items that we are asking that you purchase. So 2 cans of corn, green beans, soup, fruit, and tuna, a package or a box of rice, a package or a box of pasta, a jar or a package of gravy, a loaf of bread, cookies, a couple of oranges, apples, and bananas. And we made the cereal and the crackers optional because people were sort of saying it's a lot of money to put out. And we agree with that. So, if you want to add them, that's great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. The second thing is, when you are purchasing food, think a single older person, small quantities and small cans. And our thinking for this over many years of experience is, if you buy me a 16 ounce of corn and I'm by myself, I'm going to end up eating corn for 6 days in a row, which I might get real tired of corn. Whereas if you buy the little can, I can probably eat that in 2 days, and I'm much more content than eating corn for 6 days in a row. So again, just for those of us who come from big families, who have families in our home, cooking for one is a very different experience than cooking for a full family. The other thing is, you will notice on this list is that there are no potatoes and stuffing, which you would theoretically goes with a holiday meal. And we actually received a donation from one of our very steadfast volunteers. So we have actually purchased both the stuffing and the potatoes. So you will be able to just pick those up when you drive through our parking lot, along with the chicken. So we provide a package of frozen chicken, and it'll be either 4 thighs or drumsticks or 2 big breasts. Sam's Club is packaging that for us. We used to deliver a whole frozen chicken, but again, that got to be a lot for a single person. So we have gone the last couple years to just taking a package of chicken. We do send it frozen. Make absolutely sure that you let the older adult know that. And you might even go so far as to ask them if it would be okay to either have you put it in their refrigerator or encourage them to put it in the refrigerator as soon as possible. And if somebody is planning to have the chicken for actually like Christmas Day or Hanukkah Day, you might want to suggest that they actually put it in their freezer, because both of those holiday celebrations are a few days in the future. As I said, when you pick up the bag that has the chicken in it, it will have a box of stuffing in it, the box of potatoes, and actually their packages, I think, for the most part, of instant potatoes. Those are in the hygiene kits at the moment because we wanted to get those packed. So there's a bag with a hygiene kit as well. So the second thing then is everybody will get a gift. And this year we have had some contributions of blankets and some contributions of hats and mittens. So people will get one or the other, not both. And then everybody will get a hygiene kit, and that has things in it like toothbrushes, toothpaste, shampoos, lotions, toilet paper, chapstick, glass wiping lenses. It's a pretty comprehensive little bag that they have put together. As part of the gift, somebody also donated candy. So there's little boxes of candy that have all been individually wrapped with candy sticks, and somebody had a great deal of time on their hands and a great deal of enjoyment and pleasure putting those together. But they called and said, can we make 350 bags of chocolate candy? And I said, be my guest. Everybody will love you. So when you leave our parking lot, you will get 3 bags. You will get a bag with chicken and the stuffing. You will get and that will be a orange devoted bag. You will get a yellow bag that has the hygiene kit stuff in it. And you will get then a gift bag that has either a blanket or hats and mittens. So you will need to get 3 things from our parking lot. And then you'll have whatever bag or bags of the groceries then that you purchase, whether they're in brown paper bags and you have 1 or 2 of those, or tote bags, however that, whatever you get, the size and quantity kind of makes a difference. So I tell people at a minimum, you're probably going to have at least 4 bags of stuff that you will take to each person. And some people probably, just to keep the fruit and the bread from getting all mashed up, probably will have 5. So my other caution in all of that is, as you are thinking about how many you can deliver, just remember that you'll have a lot of tote bags in your car. So the logistics of this, texts are going out. Actually, they were supposed to go Monday, excuse me. They were supposed to go Monday, but instead they've gone today. So a text has gone out to say you have been approved to a group of people, to those people who said we could use our texting service, to say you will be receiving a bag and please be home on Saturday. They'll get a reminder on Friday that says please be home on Saturday. And then Saturday morning, we'll have a crew of volunteers here in the office who will call again just to say your bag is out for delivery, hoping then that we will have as many people home as possible. And then one of the things to know is that we had almost 700 applications, and we're only able to deliver 350 baskets. So in some instances, if you are in these low-income senior buildings, you may find people who want to know where their bag is, and they may have or should have received a text that basically says you have not been selected to receive a bag. For those people who are not who do not have a text or have that method of communication, we have sent letters in the U.S. mail. So hopefully they'll have those by Saturday. Again, I can't make any promises, but if somebody says, I applied, where's mine? Simply have to tell them that you're not on my route. And if you got a text saying you were not selected, we did the best we could with the limited amount of resources that we have. And if they didn't get a text and they're not text savvy, then you will just need to say that a letter was mailed to you and will be forthcoming. Unfortunately, I just don't have the money to go buy a whole bunch of additional food stuffs, because that would just require like twice the amount of food and twice the number of volunteers. And I don't think I could manage that right now. So in terms of safety precautions, we don't know if you as a volunteer have been vaccinated, nor do we know if the older adults have been vaccinated. So we're not like promoting that you have to use masks or any of those kinds of things, but we are suggesting that you use whatever safety precautions that you feel would be appropriate. And we've all had plenty of practice with this over the last couple of years. So again, just being very cautious is helpful. So just to quickly then review, on or before December 13th, you purchase the items on the list. And then on the 13th, you drive through our parking lot here at 1129 Pennsylvania at the time that you selected. So if you said you wanted to deliver at 10 or 10:30, 11 or 11:30, you drive through the parking lot at that time. And then we have a group of high school students, and you don't need to get out of your car. You can simply pop your trunk, or if you want it in the back seat. When you enter the parking lot, we will give you the list of names that you have been assigned to deliver to. And then you drive through and you pick up the chicken, and you pick up the gift, and you pick up the hygiene kit, and the students will just put those in your car. They'll ask you how many you need. So if you signed up for 3 people, you pick up 3 chickens, 3 hygiene kits, and 3 gifts. And then you can just keep pulling on through the parking lot. And when you get around the corner or whatever, you can begin the process of figuring out where you need to go and deliver those baskets. Our parking lot is very narrow, and so we try to just keep cars moving through at a nice slow pace. And hopefully then if there's any issues or whatever, we do have a way for you to pull off the side and manage those. But for the most part, it works pretty well. We do suggest that when you get close to the person's home, or even after you have parked, that you call them to let them know that you have arrived. And for some of them, that means that, they will meet you at the front door. Some of them will say, I'll come down and let you in. Some will have grocery carts that they have borrowed from the building, and they'll ask you to put their stuff in a grocery cart or whatever. If they invite you up to their apartment or they're into their home, that's perfectly fine. If they're comfortable with it and you are comfortable with it, it's okay to do that. A lot of people report that they do get in 10, 15, 20-minute conversations with these individuals. As a matter of fact, one person told me last year that he wasn't sure. I don't know if he's reconsidered because it's been a year now. But he said, I'm not sure I'm bringing my son along next year because he's too gregarious, and he stands here and talks for 15 or 20 minutes while I'm out here in the car trying to get going to the next house. So, that's how it works. And so, yeah, we do, again, suggest that you just exercise extreme caution, visit from a safe distance, and I'm sure we'll all be fine. One of the things we are trying to do this year is if someone is not home, I'm trying to cover my bets as much as possible. But I have had all kinds of situations in the many years we have done this project. So we have had people home on Monday say, yes, I will be there to accept the basket. And by Saturday, they've passed away. I've had people tell me on Friday, yes, I will be home to get the basket. And by Saturday morning, they're in the hospital. I have had people who, oh, my daughter called and said, let's go to church. So I didn't stay home and I forgot to call you. So we have all kinds of reasons why people aren't home. If you are able, if you get to somebody's house and they are not home, my preference is that if you could re-deliver, go have a cup of coffee, go finish your other deliveries, and then go back. That's most helpful to us. If you can make a second attempt. If you can't do a second attempt on Saturday and you're able to do a second attempt on Sunday, that's great as well. If you don't have time to wait around and re-deliver, you can bring the box back here to CGS. And I do have a volunteer who is coming in around 2:30 on Saturday afternoon. And he's going to take any re-deliveries that we have and take them out. Hopefully, we'll be able to get rid of most of them. If you are managing the re-delivery and it is like by noon on Sunday and we have not been able to reach the individual, you are perfectly welcome to donate the food to your church, to a food bank in your area. And for all I care, if there's a needy person standing on the street corner begging for food, you can give it to them. At that point, if you as an older adult are not home, have not answered the numerous phone calls that people have done, people have knocked on your door at least once, maybe twice, then I'm sorry, but this has been a planned event for quite some time, because when you applied for the basket way back in November, it very clearly says on the application, you must be home all day Saturday from like 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. because I always try to copper my bets at that point. So if you were promised to get a basket and you didn't do whatever your part of this was, then we'll catch you next year. So that's kind of how we're handling people not being home. One of the things we're trying to do this year is to build our library of photos and short videos for the holiday baskets. So if you are comfortable, you can ask the older adult if they would be open to having their picture taken with you. And I would suggest, if they're open to it, that, you hand them the basket, you put it on the table and they're looking at it. You might open the gift and pull out, the gift, or you might take some of the items out of the box or whatever. Just to show a little action is more, the newspapers and the media, people like it better when you have a little bit of action as opposed to two people just kind of standing in front of a door or something like that. You could even take a picture of somebody's like opening the door and letting you in or welcoming you. Please get people's permission. And I will have attached to the route list a photo release form for everybody. So if people are willing to be involved, that you will be able to have them sign that. I do want you to explain that if they agree to have their picture taken, that we as an agency may use it for social media. We might use it for flyers that we promote. We may send it to the media as we're trying to get more stories. So there's a lot of things that we might do with it, and they need to be comfortable with that. If they are not comfortable and they don't want that kind of promotion, it is okay, not to worry. This is, if I get 6 or 8 really good pictures, I will be very happy. The one thing I do ask is that if you do take a picture of somebody, when you send it to me, please identify the individual, because a lot of these people that you are giving baskets to, we as an agency know them by name. We know them by telephone. We know them because they need dental services. They have a telephone buddy, but we have not necessarily met them in person. So we're not necessarily going to recognize them. So you can help us out by identifying that. You can send the photo to my email, which is helpful. Then I can just pull it down. So that kind of brings us to the end of this part of the presentation. And one of the things I like to encourage people to do is, in addition to the really act of kindness that you are doing as part of the holiday basket delivery, is to really do more random acts of kindness. So we have called this the Holiday Joy Squad for a number of years now. And we, again, just suggest you do 15 acts of kindness. Doesn't matter. You can smile at somebody in the grocery store line. You can go up to a mom whose little kid is having a meltdown and say, Sonny, can I help you? I know today's really hard. Mom's tired. You can bake cookies and take them next door to your neighbor. I don't care. Just part of what we're trying to promote here is think kindness, think improvements in our community. There's so much anger and strife, and at the holidays things get a lot more tense, just because we're all in that kind of go mode. And so I just like to remind everybody that kindness, joy, happiness, and when you do it and you share it, other people will give back, and you will feel good, and they will too. So with that, have a happy holiday, and thank you for your support. And here is my cell phone number, which will also be on the route sheet. And then here is the agency